Hello and welcome to the Retail Pricing Insights podcast. My name is Ruta Donovan and I'm VP of Marketing and Growth at 7 Learnings. Today you are listening to our very first podcast episode. And with this series, we are aiming to help you to optimize your pricing strategies. We will invite pricing experts, discuss with them industry trends and actionable pricing strategies. We are in a great position to have these experts at our hand because we have dynamic pricing community where we unite retail pricing experts. For the last almost 2 years, we were organizing online and offline events, and as well we have LinkedIn group where we exchange actionable pricing advice, network, and engage with different price topics. So today I'm honored to host our first guest, Sahin Tezsoy, Director of Pricing Management at LUQOM Group. Established in 2017, LUQOM Group is Europe's top digital lighting platform. With 500 plus suppliers, they connect customers in 25 countries via online shops and key marketplaces. They have more than 50,000 products ranging from value to premium, including private labels. And more about our speaker. So prior to joining LUQOM Group in November 2023, almost a year ago, Sahin worked as the head of international pricing excellence for 5 years at Douglas, which is, if you don't know, one of the biggest German perfume and cosmetics retailers. In both of the companies, Sahin built pricing organization, and today we will speak mostly about his recent challenge at LUQOM Group, where he manages 60 different web domains and both B2B and B2C pricing. Today, we will deep dive into the evolution of pricing strategies, stakeholder management, and how you can prepare for Black Friday 2023. So it's enough talking from my side, and I would love to greet Sahin to our podcast. Welcome, Sahin. Thank you for being with us today.
I'm really honored to be your first podcast guest. Thanks for hosting and having me here.
I wanted to start with a question about your journey. Pricing in itself is a strange topic to work in. It's very rare, I would say. So where did you start?
Indeed, pricing is a strange topic, but less strange than a few years ago. And I also sneaked into the world of pricing while I worked as a controller for Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein. And there, I have been given responsibility for a project in regards to the development of market shares for polo shirts. And in my analysis and also in the discussions I had with the experts on our side, it turned actually out that the pricing was not competitive enough and that this could be a lever to boost and to improve the market shares for Tommy Hilfiger. So after some more price benchmarking and calculations on the margin and the quantities, we chose the price points and hoped having found also the sweet spot. So with the next season, we went live with the new prices and reviewed the seasonal performance and also the market share development after, which confirmed us actually that we have set the right price. So that was very nice to see how powerful pricing can be. And the project and the results out of this project that got my attention. And this was the reason why I decided to focus more into pricing professionally. So at that time also Douglas was searching for a head of pricing, and luckily I was chosen even though I did not really have any experiences. So even more, I'm grateful for the trust Douglas gave me in 2017.
Amazing. So from polo shirts to cosmetics and now lighting. You started in November 2022. How was it to set up pricing organization? And if you could meet yourself a year ago, what kind of golden advice would you give to yourself?
It's challenging, and it is also related with change management, which is always a process which lasts. So as I joined LUQOM, there was a powerful pricing team already existing, settled in the category management. But to reach the next level with pricing means, from my point of view, taking out the pricing department out of it. And we will come back later to this point. But this is also why we are talking about change management today. So let's start from the very beginning. Implementing new departments into an existing organization is not easy at all. Even harder if it comes to pricing. So a pricing department, commercial department, yield or growth management department, whatever you want to name it. It's the department which brings stakeholders from every pillar within the organization to the same table. And I see pricing as the customer's voice. Therefore, having pricing within the category management will not improve your business or the way how you approach to your customer, as you will always have internal limitations. For example, with margin targets, which are pretty much common in category management. But given those targets, you will focus more and more into cost plus pricing and not on the customer's willingness to pay. But are your purchasing conditions really of interest to the customer? So that's why, as an independent organization, you can highlight weaknesses and risks by inside out and vice versa analysis, and with the intention to improve the organization, with the ambition to provide a better customer journey and shopping experience to your customer. So sometimes you are also challenging used habits, or you are identifying issues in other departments, and this might not be seen very well from the other departments. And this is also something which comes with change management. But this is actually exactly needed to transform your business from a cost plus pricing approach to a value-based pricing strategy. Key takeaways or recommendations I can share. First, have a clear roadmap, a target plan, or at least a picture upfront in your mind. Because today, companies are looking for supervisors being very hands-on, or it is the dynamics of the business or purely the nature of a role as a pricing head to be very hands-on. So before getting blurred from the engine room, have your roadmap already ready and in your mind. And this is something what you can use on a regularly basis to double check if you still follow your path. Second, be flexible. Start with the resources you have and challenge the evolution you had in mind before. Because it might be that the organization is already much more advanced than initially thought, or that topics are even much more complex than anticipated before. So that's why be flexible. Number three, and which is also a very important one, start with the basics and take it really from there. Even if you are able to speed up with your topics, step back and take time for guiding through your listeners and also your stakeholders, because this will help you in the long run being successful and building trust from the very much beginning. So give them time to breathe and to be an equivalent travel partner with you on the common journey you have, because you need the power of all your stakeholders to be successful. And only sharing by thoughts and being transparent with everything you have, which might be also mistakes or even bad results in the first approach, which can always happen, will help you transforming the organization.
So there are people, structures, and tools that you have to change as a pricing manager. You have to be flexible, understand what you have, so some inventory when you come in.
Yep.
And then think about the change management and sort of proving other departments that this is working and it will work. I started a marketing department at 7 Learnings. It's quite similar, to be honest, starting the department like this. But what differs, it's the technical part. So could you tell us more about the structure part of change management that you brought in?
You need to have a scalable system. That's why also my recommendation would be check the IT resources first. And with IT resources, I mean the pricing landscape. How is the process from creating prices to publish them? How much time is needed? And think always about, is the current solution or the current setup ready to scale by times 10, for example? I experience a lot, and I'm still in touch with other of his former colleagues and other pricing fellows. And what I hear is they haven't checked or validated if their systems are scalable. Now the companies, they scaled, but the systems are partially crashing. So they are not able even to set up the price, or to change the price within 3 days, just for one SKU. And this is crazy. Preparing the landscape takes time. And in between, you can work on hands-on your other pricing topics. Because as I just said before, you have a roadmap and you have different sub-projects you would like to initiate, and use that time until the IT topic is fixed to go for an A/B testing, for example, check and validate if the ideas you had in mind are working or not, or if you need to change some setups in your pricing strategy. It's not only about the system and scalable systems. It starts also with processes. Processes needs to be simple and fast.
So you say that it's important to have a solution that can be scalable 10 times. So my solution would be just to do the cost plus pricing. Just, you take the price and a little bit more on top, and I can scale it 10 times. And
it can work out. I would say, it can work out in terms of margin, but is it state of the art? That's a question. The customer is nowadays more and more in the focus in order really to drive top line results and also sustainable sales growth. Cost plus pricing is dealing with internal, let me say, challenges. What are your purchasing conditions, etc. But is it really in the interest of a customer what your purchasing conditions are? Not really, I would say. The customer is browsing around some products, costs are increasing, we do have inflation, etc. So the journey from cost plus pricing to a value-based pricing approach, it should be a standard approach or standard goal, to be honest. The topic about price comparisons is also increasing. I mean, in the times of digitalization, it's super easy to compare a product and the price in the e-commerce market. That's why the price needs to be also a hygiene factor for you as a company. The importance of the price comparisons will increase. Today you have Google Lens. You can just snip a photo from a product and you will find even comparable products, private label products in the market to different price points. To get sooner to this point of value-based pricing, you need to make sure that the organization will follow you. You have different stakeholders in your organization, like the CFO, like the CMO, or representatives from the customer service team. So to get them really on board and to convince them about pricing, you need to talk also in their language. Start thinking about what is the interest of a CFO. He's looking into his margin levels.
Money always.
Money, top line, etc. Then a CMO, he's mainly focused into his ROAS. Or representative from the customer service might be interested in how the NPS or the Net Promoter Score will change over time. So try to bring all these kind of different KPIs together and to see really and to identify what is the impact of pricing on those KPIs.
Wow, this is fascinating and simple at the same time. We all go to work to achieve the results. It must be great for business as well, of people talking with each other instead of being in their own department.
Communication is always key. It sounds simple, but in some organizations, they are really like focused into their own pillars and they don't talk to each other. So try to communicate, bring the people all together on the same table.
You mentioned pricing as a hygiene factor and fairness in pricing. Customers comparing different products. We already do that in shops when we compare different prices of tea if we want to buy some, or even if we buy something more expensive like a lamp that you're selling, people actually gonna go and compare. What is the fair pricing and how do you...
As a pricing manager, it's always important to put yourself into your customer's shoes. How is the customer perceiving you as a retailer and your products? And this is where it starts. Try to isolate really what is the willingness to pay from a customer and then how to find really the best price for the customer. So if you start thinking about how the customer sees your product, it's easy. Let's say Google it, and then you see a couple of price points. Think about what is the relevant competition you have. You are not able to follow all the players in the market because there are also gray market players available who just buy some pieces of products, putting down the prices. Question to yourself, is it really important to follow these kind of players in the market? By doing then some kind of A/B testings, you will find an approach or an idea about what should be the price levels of the SKUs you have in your assortment for the customers. You will see how the elasticities are across your SKUs. On some SKUs, maybe you will see that a competitive pricing will work out, but on some other SKUs, you will see that even a competitive price will not bring you to the next level. And on those SKUs, actually, the customer doesn't care about the prices. So try to find a differentiated approach, actually, where you find some fair prices for your customer, where he really puts attention to those SKUs, and on the other SKUs you can play around a bit.
It's about positioning too.
Indeed, it's about positioning, finding really who is relevant in terms of competition in the market, but also about differentiated pricing approach across your assortment. And then you need to have a look for sure in your private label assortment, your third-party brand assortment, how to position private label versus trade brands. Do I have premium brands? Do I have like value brands, etc.? So then we are talking about also maybe cannibalization between the brands and the assortments and how to avoid this.
Looking at your cash cows, or 20% of products that bring 80% of profits, maybe.
Who said that?
Pareto principle, yeah. You touched on cost plus pricing and the shift towards prioritizing pricing over promotions, right? Could you tell us more about that? Because a lot of companies focus on promotions, especially as we have Black Friday coming up.
People are mixing up topics like with pricing and promotion. Let's start, first of all, about what is a promotion. Yeah. If we talk about pricing, then pricing is for me a full strategy about how to approach to your customer. And everything out of this strategy is actually a promotion. If you change your prices temporarily to a fixed price point, then we are talking about a promotion. Or if you apply a coupon code and promote this, then this is also a promotion. Today, the question is, how much can you really gain with pricing? Having a solid pricing strategy and hygiene prices will help you also to improve the NPS score, because prices are also easy to understand for a customer. Once you start with a coupon code promotion, customers try to type the code in and then they see it's not applicable because some products are maybe out of the
I had
coupon.
that. Yep.
I know how you feel.
Yeah.
So, and this is something you see then also in the net promoter score. That's why it is much easier also to have a solid pricing strategy. The impact of the promotion should come on top. Promotions should be event driven, where you have Friday, Mother's Day, Singles Day, Father's Day. You can use them from a tactical point of view, because with pricing, you can really drive top line, but sometimes also customer behavior is changing. Maybe you need to act a bit differently. And this is also how sometimes you need to make use also of a coupon code promotion. And the mixture between pricing and promotion is also maybe interesting for the customer. And this is how to retain also customers, to have a fresh and dynamic system and also a changing offer to the customer. Yeah.
Amazing. So building a price is a way to build a trust with the customer.
Totally agree.
As we are already going to the end, I wanted to ask you a very relevant question today. What would be your 3 actionable tips to prepare for the Black Friday? And actually, could you tell us, when do you start even preparing for the Black Friday?
It starts with the last Black Friday, because you start with the evaluation of your Black Friday campaign. It's important to see what worked and what not. Yeah. Check also what competition did in the market. Maybe it is also worth to try the same things as a competition. I see Black Friday not as one day. I just claim that the whole November is actually a Black Friday. And this helps you also getting some pressure out of the business, because not to focus on just one day, starting in February, March the year, with finding the right strategy for Black Friday, but keeping also the eyes open, because also some other retailers in the market might change their habits or the pricing promotion setup. So this can give you also an indication about if they are going to change also their promotion structure for Black Friday. So this is something you need to always keep in mind. And as actionable points for Black Friday, I would advise to be prepared. And what does it mean? The first point, try to define some targets. This is important. Because define, is it a financial target you would like to hit? Is it not financial, but you would like to beat the competition and you would like to gain a market share? These kind of targets have also other impacts on your financial results then. And this is something where you need to have the interaction between those KPIs. Once you have the clear targets, you can really focus on the KPIs and monitor them also during Black Friday, which helps you also to put other measures into place. And here we are talking also about like maybe starting into a Black Friday with a realistic approach. But if you see, for example, that you don't meet your targets, that you have also other scenarios in your box, which are probably more competitive, to have them ready. And with readiness, I mean, have your prices ready, which you would like to put live if you don't hit your performance, or also having other promotional campaigns already ready with visuals, etc., which you can easily activate with just one click. So this is about readiness in the long term, for sure. And if we talk about these scenarios, they are holistic scenarios, changing the whole setup of the pricing and promotion strategy during Black Friday. But I'm not a big fan of changing everything at one scratch, because you don't really know if it will go into the right direction. That's why also doing tiny technical adjustments will help you even. So keep your eyes open in the market and define some baskets maybe you can obtain in the market. You have different SKU baskets and you check regularly, maybe intraday also, what are the offers in the market? Is it worth to follow? Yes or not? But then you are really checking your own basket versus the competition, but also checking what is the offer of the competition and what are their top SKUs. Maybe these are the ones in their assortment which are super important, and being competitive also on these SKUs will bring you to the point where you gain actually market share from your competition. So not just focusing on your important SKUs, but try to find the important SKUs from your customer and attack him.
How much innovation is there every Black Friday in pricing, would you say?
Well, Black Friday is actually the same topic for many years. You try always to be prepared and to have chosen the right setup while anticipating also what the market and your competition will do. And you do a lot if it comes to pricing and promotional elasticities and also to predictive modeling. By the way, 7 Learnings is having a solid solution here. But what you cannot predict is the customer behavior, which differ also to your non-busy season. We are in a time where we have high volatilities in the market and high uncertainties. And people are not willing to pay the money they used to pay a couple of years ago before the pandemic. And Black Friday is also getting more and more famous. So customers, they are used to shift their demand also into the Black season. That's why Black Friday might be also not always about a strategy, but also more about tactics, while also considering, for example, other offers in the market or stock situations in the market, or also in your own warehouse. So it's about preparation, the fine-tuning of your tactical measures, and having also a dynamic framework in place which anticipates the implications in the short run as in the mid or in the long run, in order to guarantee the trade-off for the investments you do.
Especially for the past few years where there was so many changes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome for having me here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing your pricing insights with our listeners. This was Retail Pricing Insights Podcast. My name is Ruta Donovan. I would like to say thank you to 7 Learnings team who helped to produce this podcast, especially to Irini and Rika who contributed in recording and producing this specific podcast episode. From now on, you will have one podcast episode produced every single month with a retail pricing expert. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter and join Dynamic Pricing community. Thank you and see you next time.